Hello and welcome to Oxford, Ohio on this windy April 1st edition of Love and Honor Live here on Chatterbox Sports. It's a three-game series between the RedHawks of Miami and the Broncos of Western Michigan. Western Michigan comes in with a 5-17 record. They are 2-4 in the MAC. Let's take you through their starting lineups. Jackson Kitchen will be in left field. He's batting leadoff for the Broncos. Will Morrison in the two-hole. He's playing center field. Gavin Doyle will be in the 3 slot. He's playing the hot corner over at third base. Cade Sullivan will be the first baseman. He's a cleanup hitter. Dylan Navarre will be in right field. He's batting 5th. Josh Swinehart will be the designated hitter. He's batting in the 6th slot. Jimmy Allen will be the starting shortstop. He's at the 7-hole. And 8 behind the dish is Greg Buddick. Grady Mee will be anchoring this lineup for Western Michigan. On the bump for Miami will be the starting pitcher, the southpaw Connor Oliver, and he has been just masterful this season. A 3.90 ERA. The win-loss hasn't come through. He's 1-3, but you see the strikeout to walk ratio. 57 Ks to 18 walks, and you can see the wind is just howling out here in Oxford. 27-mile-an-hour winds, so that will persist throughout this one game today. Miami in the pinstripes, the red trim. Broncos wearing pinstripe bottoms. They're wearing brown with the gold trim up top. And we are underway, getting ready to go underway here in Oxford. Umpires today will be Mike Schultz. He'll be behind the dish. Down the first base line will be Mike Martin. Wayne Krause will be the third base umpire. I'm Reed Mouse. Thank you for joining in. So Connor Oliver comes off 2 great pitching performances. Really, he's been sharp all season long, especially getting into conference play. And the first pitch, 12:04. It's a called strike on Jackson Kitchen. Breaking ball works away from the left-handed swinging left fielder. Yeah, Oliver went 6 strong against Toledo, giving up 1 earned run. He went 6 strong against Northern Illinois, giving up 0 earned runs. And then Bowling Green last week went 6 1/3 innings. He gave up 3 earned runs. Defense hasn't helped him out a whole lot, as there were 4 runs given up against Toledo and 3 against Northern Illinois. But as we mentioned, all unearned, and just keep adding on to that strikeout to walk ratio as he puts down Jackson Kitchen for the first out of today's ball game.
Number 2, Will Morrison.
Will Morrison steps in, and he's the most dangerous bat in this Bronco lineup. Batting .373, 31 hits and 83 at-bats. His OPS right at near 1, .941. 7 extra base hits on the season. The starting center fielder awaits the 1-0 from Oliver. That misses downstairs. It's 2-0. Free passes has been the bugaboo of this pitching staff this season for Miami, but Connor Oliver has not got nipped in the bud by that struggle, as he constantly commands the strike zone as he finds a strike there and make it 2-1. Morrison is a redshirt junior out of Clinton Township, Michigan, and he gets plunked. And there's a free pass to put a runner on first with 1 away here in the top half of the first.
Now the third baseman, number 12, Gavin Doyle.
We'll take you through the defensive alignment for Miami. Behind the dish in the battery will be David Novak. Over at first base will be Parker Lester. He is on the right side of the infield with Dylan Baker. On the left side, you got Rylan Zaborowski, Cooper Weiss out in the pasture, Brian Zapp, Zach McDonald, and Benji Brokemond. We'll tell you how they're hitting in the bottom half of the inning. First pitch here to Gavin Doyle will be a called ball on the inside half. One game today, a doubleheader tomorrow. You can watch that right here on Chatterbox Sports. As the southpaw comes with the 1-0, it's pop foul over the first base dugout. Doyle, a senior out of Plainfield, Illinois. A hit in his last 4 games that he's played in. This Western Michigan team comes in with a similar record to Miami. They've played a very tough schedule. Started off the season against LSU, the #1 team in the country, and have recently come off a 3-game series against Iowa from the Big Ten, and actually their last 5 games have been against Big Ten opponents. Doyle went 3 for 5 against Michigan State earlier this week. The 2-2 to Doyle. Rides up and in. Run the count full. Morrison out there at first base. 3 for 6 on stolen base attempts this year, so he's not afraid to go, but doesn't have a high success rate at stealing. Connor Oliver's 3-2 chopped out to Rylan Zaborowski, a chance for the double play. Doesn't field it cleanly in his glove. Transfers it over to first to Parker Lester for the second out. It's a 5-3 putout. In steps the right-handed swinging Cade Sullivan.
Number 36, Cade Sullivan.
Sullivan, a 6'4" junior out of Illinois. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Sullivan batting .247 on the season. An OPS over 800, 823. Not a lot of big fly potential from Western Michigan, but if there's anyone that can do it, it's Sullivan, as Zaborowski extends himself. This is a base hit that goes underneath Brian Zapp's glove, and the throw into second base in time. So 1 run scores on the base hit, then the air. Zapp comes up and throws Sullivan out at second base, though the Broncos take a 1-0 lead here on Love and Honor Live. Welcome back to Oxford, Ohio, and while we have you here, let's quickly take you through the starting lineup for your Miami RedHawks. Batting leadoff and out in left field will be Brian Zapp. The left-handed swinger's getting the start against a right-handed pitcher. Cooper Weiss in the 2-hole. He's playing shortstop, and he has been fantastic this year. David Novak moving his way up into the middle of this order. At the 3-hole, he's behind the dish. Rylan Zaborowski will be batting cleanup. He's your third baseman. Zach McDonald out in center field. He's batting 5th. Parker Lester moving into the 6th slot. He's the first baseman. Benji Brokman producing a little bit of speed in the bottom half of this order. He's out in right field. Christian Tejada is the designated hitter. He's getting the start against Brady Miller today. And anchoring this lineup will be Dylan Baker, the second baseman. So Brady Miller, right-handed pitcher from Plainfield, Illinois, a 6'4", 205-pound right-handed pitcher, comes into today with a 7.42 ERA, a whip at 1.81. He's thrown 30 innings. His record is 1-3. He's struck out 26 batters and has walked 14. And the first pitch to Brian Zapp is fouled directly back. 0-1's the count to the left-handed swinging left fielder. Zapp had a chance to throw out Will Morrison at the plate, and that 1 run that was scored in the top half of the inning went underneath his glove, was able to throw out Cade Sullivan at second base, and Zapp will lay one down trying to catch Western Michigan sleeping. 0-2's the count to the left fielder. Zapp has climbed his batting average up to .291. 1 for 2 against Oakland earlier this week. Had a tough series against Bowling Green. But he is getting on base right about 50% of the time. .494 on base percentage. Very sharp eye. Brady Miller on the 1-2. Misses outside. You can hear the wind howling. That will persist. That's why they're playing 1 game today and 2 tomorrow. Better weather tomorrow. Of course, we got washed out yesterday. Do have turf, but you can't play in the conditions that we're here in Southwest Ohio and throughout most of the eastern United States. The 2-2 from Miller freezes Brian Zapp. The backdoor slider for the first out. Let's take you through the defensive alignment here for Western Michigan. Buddig will be in the battery with Miller. Sullivan will be over at first base, me at second. Over on the left side of the infield is Doyle and Allen. Out in the pasture from left to right, Kitchen, Morrison, and Navarre. Well, here goes the leading hitter for Miami, Cooper Weiss, as he takes the first pitch from Miller for a called strike. Weiss batting .321 on the year, has left the yard 4 times, slugging .556. Weiss hacking at the 0-1. It's fouled back. Tall right-hander puts down Cooper Weiss on strikes. 3-pitch at bat, and Miller is feeling himself here in the bottom half of the first. Back-to-back Ks will bring up David Novak. And perhaps no one is seeing the ball better in this lineup than David Novak. A hit in 7 straight games. Against Bowling Green last week, had 6 hits and 12 at-bats, including a 3-run performance in the finale of that series. Novak has climbed his batting average all the way up to .292. (1-1) here to the starting catcher. Breaking ball misses inside. Novak was a first-team All-MAC selection last year, as he posted a .704 slugging percentage and a .430 on-base percentage. The 2-1 misses outside. Struggled to begin this season, but has certainly found himself as of late. The 3-1, he takes a healthy hack, comes up empty. The payoff pitch from Miller. Slider couldn't bring it back into the zone, and that's a 2-out base runner for the RedHawks. Rylan Zaborowski steps into the box, with his batting average floating right around 300, .299, and OPS over 1, 1.114. As he is slugging .747 and getting on base about 37% of the time. 10 home runs, 7 doubles. If there's anyone that can change the game with one swing in this lineup, it's Rylan Zaborowski. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0, as Miller misses on the outside. Brought into the strike zone to bring the count to 2-1. Zaborowski had his 3rd stop along his collegiate career. Started out at Grand Canyon University. A native of Gilbert, Arizona. A 6'6" redshirt sophomore. 2-1. Finds the outside part of the plate, bringing the count to 2-2. 2-2, 2 away. One runner on in this 1-0 ball game. Brady Miller peers into Buddig. He kicks and deals. Chopped foul towards the head coach, Danny Hayden. The 2-2 from Miller. Takes a deep breath. And Zaborowski hammers one into left field, but Kitchen's right there to put the squeeze on for the third and final out. Zaborowski hits one on the screws. 1-0 as we head to the top half of the second inning. Top of the second here in Oxford, Ohio. 1-0 our score here in the first game of this 3-game tilt between Western Michigan and Miami. 2 up for the Broncos here in the top half of the inning. Dylan Navarre, Josh Swinehart, and Jimmy Allen. Just moments away from getting this second inning going. Navarre for the Broncos. Comes in batting .217. He's a redshirt sophomore from Wisconsin. Struggling as of late, but there was a time right around the turn of February into March where he was sporting an 8-game hitting streak. And of those 8 games, 5 were extra hit ball games. Connor Oliver comes in on the 1-0 with the breaking ball. Finds the strike zone. 1-1's the count. Navarre chases upstairs. And the count's 1-2. And with 2 strikes to the left-handed swinging Navarre, Rylan Zaborowski will move out towards the shallow outfield. Chopped out to Parker Lester. They've got a tall man over there at first, and he gloves it, steps on first for the first out.
Now the designated hitter for Western Michigan is number 20, Josh Swinehart.
Josh Swinehart steps in. Swinehart does a little bit of everything for the Broncos. Pitches, hits, plays several positions. Getting the DH here today. Went 2 for 4 earlier this week against Michigan State. He's batting .275. 6 extra base hits on the ledger. His 20th start of the season. As Oliver misses the 0-1 on the outside, it's 1-1 to the right-handed swinging Swinehart. Oliver misses, working away from Swinehart. Swinehart, a big hitter there. 6'4", 210. Awaits the 2-1 from Oliver. Cooper Weiss gets the second bounce on the backhand, throws it across the diamond. Parker Lester swipes the tag on the back, but the first base umpire, Mike Martin, didn't see the tag. And out comes Danny Hayden to see if Mike Schultz might have had a better look at the tag from Parker Lester. Martin was firmly blocked by the tag. And they're going to come out here and talk this one over. Mike Schultz had a much better view of what Lester was able to slap on the back of Swinehart. And we'll see if they change the call. Safe is currently what Martin says out there at first base. Never been an umpire. Always have wondered what these conversations look like. And they will continue the call of safe. So put a runner on first.
Number 11, Jimmy.
On the high throw from Weiss. And we'll see Jimmy Allen officially calling that a hit in the 6-hole. To give a hit to Swinehart. And Oliver comes set. The wind blowing out to right center field here today. .56 degrees at first pitch, but feels a lot colder because at times that sun is hiding and the wind is blowing. The 2-0 is a check swing that is going to say Allen did come around. Misses upstairs. Allen batting .267 on the year. His OPS just under 700. Has started in every game for Western Michigan. Oliver comes set. Here's the 3-1. He kicks, deals, called strike, runs the count full. Allen checking with Schultz just to see if that's as far as he'll come in. The payoff pitch. Flared out into shallow right field. That's a base knock. In on the handle and out to right field. Rounding second, heading for third, his Swinehart. The throw from Brokman, not in time. Put runners on the corners. And one away for Greg Billick.
Number 27, Greg Billick.
So back-to-back base hits, put runners on first and third, and Billick's at the plate. The starting catcher today for the Broncos takes the first pitch upstairs, 1-0. Billick with 7 RBIs on the season. His 20th start. He's batting at .212. One of several starters for the Broncos to come from Plainfield, Illinois. Oliver gets the sign from Novak. Here's the 1-1. Looking to roll up a ground ball. And he gets Billick to chase. The 1-2. And Oliver comes up with a huge strikeout to get the second out on the scoreboard. And he'll face Grady Mee. Oliver made quick work of Billick. And we'll see the freshman from Toledo Whitmer, Grady Mee. Mee, this is his third start of the season. He's batting .154, looking to make a name and looking to make a mainstay in this Broncos lineup. Yet to have an RBI on the season. He's got 2 hits and 13 at-bats. And he hammers one out to left center field. Zach McDonald coming in, loses his hat, but closes the gap. And Mee sends one out sharply to left center field, but Connor Oliver dances out of trouble. 1-0 as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Zach McDonald, Parker Lester, Benji Brokmond due up for Miami. They're trailing 1-0 here in the bottom half of the second inning. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching Love and Honor Live here on Chatterbox Sports. If you haven't already, please go ahead, subscribe, like the stream, comment how we're doing. Comment if you like the stream or not, or if you don't, let us know we can do better. If you like sports content, just go ahead and take a gander around our channel. Sure, you'll find something you like. So Zach McDonald awaits the first pitch from Miller, and he's ready to rock and roll. 0-1 the count to the starting center fielder. Went off speed first time to McDonald. Fouls it back on the bunt attempt between McDonald and Zaborowski. A lot of pop in the middle half of this order. In fact, in terms of new age baseball, you know, things you hear people complain all about, too many strikeouts, trying to leave the yard too much as McDonald chops one out to Doyle. He bravely fields it and throws it over to Sullivan, who has to stretch down the first base line for the first out. Parker Lester steps in. With the new age baseball, lots of strikeouts, lots of home runs. And Miami does that very well. They out-hit their opponents, 34 home runs to 25. And they are striking out in just 26 games. They have struck out 300 batters this year. But they're doing it themselves, 276 strikeouts. Lester, a shift to the right side of the infield for the left-handed swinging Lester, which is unique. You've seen other teams really shift, play straight up in the infield, but the outfield actually shifts to left center. They ride up and in on Lester. Lester, one of the few bats in this lineup that likes to push the ball the other way. In fact, that's where he derives most of his power. The 1-2 misses as well. So from 0-2 to 2-2, Lester, who's batting .308 on the season, awaits the offering from Miller. And he'll go down on strikes, the third strikeout of the game for Miller.
Stepping in next, the right fielder, number 11, Benji Brokmond.
Benji Brokmond steps in, and he had a whale of a series against the Falcons from Bowling Green last week. 6 hits and 11 at-bats. Looking to keep that going here in MAC play. Brokmond has danced around the lineup, batting in the 7-hole today. Takes the slider from Miller for a called strike. The 1-1 misses outside. Brokmond with plenty of speed. Second on the team in stolen bases if he should reach base. As he singles right up the middle as it tiptoes over the second base bag. Brokmond takes a hard turnaround first before retreating back to the base. Put a runner on first base and 2 away for Christian Tejada.
Now Miami's designated hitter, wearing number 7, Christian Tejada.
Tejada, a grad student from Twinsburg, Ohio. Had a hit against Oakland earlier this week, 1 for 4. Getting the start today. His 7th start of the season. He's come off the bench quite a bit. 7 hits and 34 at-bats coming up to this game. First pitch he sees taken for a called strike. We'll see if Brokmond is up and moving to get a runner in scoring position for the bottom half of this order. Dylan Baker, the 9-hole, awaits in the on-deck circle, and they are checking on Brokmond over there. Miami is stealing at a decent clip. mentioned Brokeman's second on the team, eight steals and 9 attempts. As a team, they steal about 76% at least their success rate when they do try to swipe backs. 38 steals and 50 attempts. Brokeman only trailing Brian Zapp on the team lead. The 1-1 is fouled. And the home plate umpire, Schultz, will give Buddig a chance to take a breather. Tejada choking up on the bat, awaits the 1-2 from Miller as he fouls it over the first base dugout. This is Tejada's 6th season in the program. Now he's played just 17 games combined over the last 2 years. Slides in safe over there at first, and they are keeping close tabs on Brokeman. Brokeman takes a modest lead, trying to time the jump as Tejada chops one down the third base line. Tough play for Doyle, throws it across the infield, bounces twice, and dug out of the turf. Sullivan will have it for the third out. So a 2-out single from Benji Brokeman is left stranded. We head to the third inning, still 1-0. Welcome back to McKee Field at Hayden Park. You're watching Love and Honor Live here on Chatterbox Sports. I'm Reed Mouse. Thank you for tuning in. Top of the order due up for Western Michigan. Jackson Kitchen, who went down looking on strikes his first time around, will look to get things rolling for the Broncos. The visiting Broncos scored a run back in the top half of the first inning on a base hit to left field. Both teams have come close to threatening a run, but not a whole lot of offensive action here in the beginning of this ball game. Doubleheader tomorrow. Patrick Geshin will take you through game 2 tomorrow. And the 1-0 is sent out to right field for a base knock, and it goes underneath Benji Brokeman's glove. Rounding second, heading for third is Kitchens. He's on a horse. The throw into the cutoff man, Cooper Weiss. And he'll get it in the infield. A single then an error on Miami will put a runner on third and nobody away here in the third inning. Brokeman went down to a knee, but still got underneath his glove.
Center fielder Will Morrison.
And we showed Connor Oliver's pitching record. He's got a fair ERA, 3.90, as the infield's going to come in against Will Morrison. He was hit by a pitch, came around and scored back in the first inning. But in his last 3 starts, he's only given up 4 earned runs as opposed to the 10 runs he's given up. So hasn't got a whole lot of help from the defense. In fact, that run scored in the first inning was a base knock that skirted away from Brian Zapp's glove out in left field. So 1-1 is the count. Here to Morrison. More so than ever, Oliver's looking for a strikeout. And he won't get it as Morrison flies one down the left field line, and the wind blows it fair. It's a base knock that is deadened by the 27-mile-an-hour wind, and Morrison with an RBI double.
Come on, Gav, we're not done. Let's go.
When you're taking hacks in your dorm room or your bedroom and you imagine hitting doubles, you don't imagine them quite like that. Off the end of the bat, down the left field line, and blown fair and deadened by the 27-mile-per-hour wind. And still, the Broncos are threatening with a runner in scoring position and nobody away. Gavin Doyle steps in. He grounded out to Rylan Zaborowski his last time around. And Oliver working behind the middle of this Bronco lineup. And that's a key to success for Oliver and really any pitcher when they toe the rubber, getting ahead of the hitters that pose the biggest threat. The southpaw finds the strike zone. It's 2-1. Fouled over the first base dugout. We'll do it at 2-2. Oliver at his fourth school in his collegiate career. Has pitched at Wichita State, TCU, and Wabash Valley as he gets Doyle to ground out to Dylan Baker. Move Morrison to third, but put one on the outboard. Last year, Oliver threw 11 innings for the Horned Frogs and a 9.82 ERA. So the first time seeing sustained success here at the Division I level. Cade Sullivan, who singled out to left field his last time around, is ahead in the count 1-0. The infield coming in, Cooper Weiss, Dylan Baker with their toes on the grass cut out of the turf. Called strike on the inside half. It's 1-1. Swung on and missed. Gets him to chase on the fastball on the inside. Sullivan, eyes lit up when he saw the straight ball. Couldn't catch up. Oliver comes set, looking for a K. And he'll have to look one pitch further as Sullivan spoils that 90-mile-an-hour fastball over the first base dugout. It's 1-2. Two at-bats, two RBI singles for Cade Sullivan as at the end of the right-handed swinger's stick flares one out to right field. It's 3-0 here in the top half of the third.
Number 15, right fielder Dylan Nevar.
So Dylan Nevar steps in. One O's the count. Nevar chopped out to Parker Lester his first time around. And this is fouled straight back. 1-1's the count.
Come on, Dylan.
Oliver gets the sign, comes set. Kicks, deals in the turf. Novak keeps it in front of himself. 2-1 as Nevar is ahead in the count. Over at first base, Cade Sullivan has yet to attempt a stolen base this year, so more than likely being staying put. With his 2 RBIs in this ball game, he's up to 22 on the ledger, which is the team lead. And out from the Western Michigan dugout is the head coach, Billy Gurnon. He's in his 13th season as the head coach of the Broncos. They made the NCAA tournament back in 2016. They won the MAC tournament for the first time in school history. So we'll call a balk. Didn't hear the explanation from Mike Schultz. So it was an illegal use of equipment by David Novak. He stopped the ball with his mask. Which in my novice brain thought that was a 3-base penalty, but they give a free base moving from first to second, and Cade Sullivan, and a rounding third and heading for home is Sullivan on the misplay from Parker Lester. So the chopped ball over on the right side of the infield isn't played cleanly, and Western Michigan takes a 4-0 lead as they have plated 3 here in the 3rd inning. So Sullivan, RBI single, moves up to second on the illegal use of equipment by Novak. Comes around and scores on that error by Miami. Their second error of the inning. As things started with the single to Benji Brokmond that went under his glove. And Jackson Kitchen moved all the way to third base on the air. So still 1 away as Josh Swinehart steps in. Swinehart singled his last time around.
Number 20, designated hitter, Josh Swinehart.
One-0's in there for a called strike. Swinehart, you mentioned, second on this team in batting average, as Oliver's going to go over there and check on Navarre. Only one batter in this Western Michigan lineup, batting over 300, and that's Will Morrison. Their pitching staff, on the other hand, is allowing their opponents to hit over 300 as a team. Swinehart pops up into right center field, wind blowing it further into right center. Zach McDonald comes up underneath it for the second out. So 2 away and 1 on for Jimmy Allen.
Number 11.
You might look at this Western Michigan record at 5-17 and think that's much ado about nothing, as they have played a very tough schedule. I mentioned open up the series as Jimmy Allen flares it out to Cooper Weiss for the 3rd out. So we'll tell you more about Western Michigan when we come back. It's the bottom of the 3rd. The Broncos plate 3. It's 4-0. Dylan Baker, then the top half of the order, due up for the RedHawks here in the bottom half of the third inning. And the RedHawks just had a spirited discussion in the dugout after that 3-run top half of the third. RedHawks coming in today 6-20 on the season, 3-6 inside the Mid-American Conference. And we'll see Dylan Baker for the first time. First pitch to Baker, called strike. Baker batting .217. This is his 18th start on the season. The redshirt sophomore from Tampa, Florida. Awaits the 0-1 from Miller. Chops out into the 6-hole. Allen backhands, throws it across the diamond. Uses the turf to his advantage, and what a great play from Jimmy Allen for the first out of the inning. A 6-3 put out just ahead of the speedy Dylan Baker. We'll keep the bases empty as we go to the top half of this Miami order. So the difference in this game to this point hasn't been one team's hitting better than another. You might see the 6 hits on the board for Western Michigan as opposed to the 1 from Miami. The defense has been the biggest disparity.
That's it, Brady.
As Western Michigan twice now has been able to keep Miami off the base paths with crafty defense. On the other hand, Miami has awarded the Broncos several bases. 2 errors, which has attributed to at least 6 bases for Western Michigan. Zapp awaits the 1-2. He went down looking his last time. We mentioned the eye that Zapp has. 3rd on the team in walks when he's really had half the at-bats as the everyday starters. And the 2-2 is hit out to the second baseman, who extends himself on the turf, flips it over to Sullivan for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down here in the third. Nice swings both times. Zapp didn't miss that by a whole lot. And Dylan Baker placed it well in the 6-hole, but Jimmy Allen, the shortstop for Western Michigan, just made a better play. And Cooper Weiss comes up hacking here in the 3rd inning. Miller misses upstairs to Cooper Weiss. He struck out swinging his first time. Brady Miller put down the first 2 batters he faced on strikes, has only seen 1 strikeout since. 1-1. And Weiss way out in front of that changeup as Miller was able to pull the string. Weiss out to Jimmy Allen once again, backhanded, off his heels, throws it across the diamond, and just bouncing it off this artificial turf all day as he makes another fantastic play. Adapt to the playing surfaces as Jimmy Allen is doing a great job at that. We head to the 4th inning. It's 4-0. Top of the 4th inning here at McKee Field at Hayden Park. 4-0 our score, the first of 3 games between Miami and Western Michigan. And in the top half of the 3rd inning, I was getting into the schedule that Western Michigan has played. We mentioned the opening 3-game series against LSU, the unanimous preseason #1 team in the country. They got swept there and played some other teams before getting into MAC play. And then as of late, has taken on number 20 in the country, Iowa, who they got swept by. And I played 2 games against Michigan State. So Western Michigan looking to get back in the win column after losing 7 in a row. They beat Eastern Michigan in the first game of that series before falling to the next 2. Got swept by Iowa and have lost 2 in a row to Michigan State. So 8-9-1 due up here in the top half of the 4th inning. Coming back on the 3-1, gets a swing and a miss from Billick, who went down on strikes his first time. And he goes down on strikes once again. The flip from Novak out to Parker Lester. Retires the catcher. 1 away here in the 4th inning.
Second baseman, Ray Mead.
Working quickly through this ball game. Both pitchers working with some pace. Brady Miller has had much more success than Connor Oliver. Connor Oliver has been able to settle in before. Called strike here to Grady Mee. Mee lined out to center field his first time around. That's a called strike. I mentioned Mee's a freshman from Toledo Whitmer. The 1-2, he chokes up and goes down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the top half of the 4th inning. Mentioned the RedHawks had a spirited discussion in the dugout before the bottom half of the last inning. And Connor Oliver responding in spades here in the 4th. As after the bunt attempt, he's ready to get back on the horse, toe the rubber. He's not letting this game opportunity get away from him. Jackson Kitchen singled out to right field. That was the ball that slipped under Brokman's glove. Able to come around and score later on. Chops one out to Dylan Baker. It's going to be a tough play. Baker on the run. Over to Parker Lester. Makes it look easy for the 3rd and final out. We head to the bottom of the 4th here in Oxford. 4-0's our score. Looking at the bottom of the 4th here on Love and Honor Live. I'm Reed Mouse. You're watching this on Chatterbox Sports. 3-4-5 due up for Miami as they're looking to get the sticks out. They have 1 hit through the first 3 frames. We've had a pair of base runners, David Novak being one of them. He walked his first time around. So we mentioned Western Michigan's schedule. Miami comes in at 6-20. They played some tough out-of-conference game, going down to Georgia Tech, have played Indiana. And, of course, they played Wright State twice, consistently one of the best teams here in the Buckeye State. They come into this one winners of their last two. Able to take the final game against Bowling Green and beat Oakland earlier this week, both on the road as Novak goes down on strikes. And they flip it over to first for the first out. So a K and a 2-3 put out. We'll bring up Rylan Zaborowski.
Third baseman Rylan Zaborowski.
3-game series against Western Michigan. Then Miami will take on Xavier University on Tuesday, 6 p.m. in the Nuxaw Classic. That'll be following a game against Wright State and the University of Cincinnati. 1-0 is the count to Zaborowski. Zaborowski has missed a couple games this year. Had a concussion, which kept him off the field earlier. That was the Toledo series. But has been playing well as of late. Went 3 for 5 on Wednesday, including a home run and had 3 RBIs against Oakland. In fact, against the 2 games against Oakland, he has 2 home runs. The 2-1 to Zaborowski. Called strike on the outside, 2-2. Zaborowski goes down on strikes, and Brady Miller's starting to feel it. 5 Ks for the starting pitcher for Western Michigan, and he'll face Zach McDonald. Miller's season high on strikeouts came against Eastern Michigan. A 7-inning shutout performance where he allowed 3 hits and 2 walks. He put down 7 batters, well on his way to topping that here today against Miami. Besides that performance against their rivals, Eastern Michigan, Miller has taken his lumps. Mentioned, gave up 5 runs and 4 innings of work against Iowa last weekend. Gave up 8 earned runs against Ball State earlier this year. And in this is his 7th start. In his 6 previous starts, really only 2 good performances. Other than that, it was unable to get into the 6th inning and has given up at least 4 or 5 earned runs. So the 2-2 to McDonald, as Miller is looking to put up his 4th 0 on the scoreboard. Called strike 3 as Miller freezes McDonald. 4-0 our score as we head to the 5th. Top of the 5th inning here in Oxford. Will Morrison, Gavin Doyle, Cade Sullivan due up facing off against Connor Oliver. Morrison has scored twice already in this ball game, once in the first, once in the third. hit by a pitch and doubled down the left field line. That flare double, which brought in Jackson Kitchen. And Morrison showing bunt. Takes it for a called ball. With his hit, his last at bat, Morrison extends his hit streak to 4. As it is now 3-0 here to Morrison. So we mentioned his hit streak now up to 4 games, and he'll walk here. Not his longest hit streak of the season. In fact, from February 25th to March 10th, he had 8 straight ball games where he had multiple hits in a ball game. As we'll see a runner on first, nobody away for Gavin Doyle. Called strike. Wind still blowing out to right center field. As this is a double play opportunity. Weiss over to Baker, over to Lester. 6-4-3 double play, and just what the doctor ordered for Connor Oliver. So the leadoff walk is negated as Cade Sullivan steps into the batter's box with 2 away.
First baseman, Cade Sullivan.
Sullivan 2 for 2, as it's going to be a tough play for Cooper Weiss. Throwing it on the run across the infield. A stretch from Lester beats out Sullivan. And a quick inning for Connor Oliver, as now they're going to need to get the sticks out. We're midway through this ball game. It's 4-0 on Love and Honor Live. The RedHawks have been able to just put 2 runners aboard through the first 4 innings. They're trailing 4 runs here in the bottom half of the 5th as Brady Miller is cruising. Struck out the last 3 batters he saw and has retired now the previous 8 batters. As you'll see Parker Lester, Benji Brokman, and Christian Tejada step up to the plate for Miami.
First baseman, number 10, Parker Lester.
Lester shows bunt, offers the first pitch he sees. Called ball on the outside. Lester with a hit in 10 of the last 11 ball games he's played in. Went 0 for 2 against Oakland on Wednesday. Offers at the 2-1 and chasing at the ball that was at his ankles. Works the count to 2-2. Lester getting on base about 38% of the time, 381 on base percentage. As he'll get on base here, the second hit of the ball game for Miami. out to right center field, and Lester is wanting second. Sliding in with a double. Lester never slowed down, showing his speed. And a runner's in scoring position to begin things here in the bottom half of the fifth. That's the kind of hustle play that can breathe life into a dugout. And we'll see Benji Brokmond with a runner on second and nobody away. Both Sullivan and Doyle playing even with the bags. Those are the corner infielders for Western Michigan. Doyle cocked towards Parker Lester out at the second baseman. And Brokmond takes the first pitch on a fastball, 90-mile-an-hour heater on the outside. 0-1 the count to the starting right fielder. He singled his last time. Before that base knock from Lester was the only base hit of the ball game for Miami. Benji, a redshirt junior from South Holland, Illinois. Third year starting for Miami. His batting average has improved with each passing year. It's tapering off this year. 0-2 the count to the right fielder. Miller blows it by Brokmond for the first out. Brokmond couldn't catch up to the 90-mile-an-hour heater. And we'll see Christian Tejada.
Number 7, designated hitter Christian Tejada.
Tejada grounded out to Doyle, the third baseman, his last time around. And they'll check on Parker Lester. The pickoff attempt in time as Lester got off too far. And the leadoff double is now negated as Lester is thrown out on the paths.
Number 21, Dylan Baker.
So 2 away for Tejada, who flares one over towards the Western Michigan dugout. Bounces off the concrete overhang. And we'll do the count at 1-1. Tejada 1 for his last 9. Takes the 1-1 on the inside. Called ball. It's by a couple inches on the inside half. Good take by Tejada. As the utility player takes the 2-1 for a called ball. Miller kicks, deals. Misses on the inside. 2-out walk for Christian Tejada. Which at the very least, even if Dylan Baker is retired, will bring up the top half of the order for Miami next inning. But we'll see Dylan Baker for right now. Pickoff attempt on the back throw, not in time on Tejada. See Baker, who grounded out to Jimmy Allen. That was that fantastic play by Allen in the 6-hole his last time, as Miller falls behind 2-0. So one bat that you notice isn't in the Miami lineup today, Evan Applewick, who is slumping as of late. Didn't get in the lineup today and haven't seen him since the Bowling Green series. As before getting out of the lineup was 0 for his last 17. But still working on base percentage over 400. His batting average fell below the Mendoza line of 194. So the 2-1's in there for a called strike. 88 on the upper part of the zone. 2-2 to Baker. Tejada on the paths. Has only attempted 1 stolen base this season. Check swing. They'll check down the first base line. No, he did not go, says Mike Martin. So run the count full, and with 2 away, we'll see Christian Tejada up and moving, and playing behind the first base bag, Sullivan is. So the ball in the gap should score Tejada. The payoff pitch to Baker is fouled back. We'll do it again.
Go finish.
Once again, we'll do it. Base hit to center field. Tejada up and moving. Round second. He'll go to third to put runners on the corner for the leadoff batter, Brian Zapp. Dylan Baker hitting the ball hard in his first 2 trips to the plate. As it's the second hit of the inning. And we'll see Zapp working on an 0 for 2. First time Brady Miller has really been tested in this ball game. Zapp with 12 RBIs on the season. And look to just extend this inning, at least 1 batter. 2 on, 2 away for the leadoff man, Zapp. And Miller gets right back at it as he finds the strike zone. 0-1's the count to the left fielder. Miller kicks. This is high and away. Breaking ball couldn't come back into the strike zone. Wind blowing from the left foul pole to the right. Infield shifted to the right side. Miami threatening for the first time in this ball game with 2 on and 2 away. 2-1's the count to Zapp as they freeze him on the slider. Called strike, 80 mile an hour on the gun. And the count is 2-2. Miller comes set. Zapp beyond the outreach glove of Sullivan. He's going to have to retreat quickly over the first base bag as Mee fields it cleanly and throws out Zapp at first. So Miami threatens, but Miller hangs another 0 on the board. We're through 5 full. It's 4-0. Connor Oliver will go back out there for the 6th inning as he looks to keep the mojo going. He's retired 8 of the last 9 batters he's faced. We head to the top half of the 6th inning. It's 4-0 here on Love and Honor Live on Chatterbox Sports. I'm Reed Mouse. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe, like the stream, comment. Create a little community here. Be so akin to Dylan Navarre, Josh Swinehart, Jimmy Allen due up for the Broncos. Navarre, 0 for 2, has grounded out to the first baseman, Parker Lester. Both times he's been to the plate. Last time, of course, reached a board on the air. The second air for Miami in this ball game. And through 5 full, the biggest difference, and I mentioned this an inning and a half ago, has just been the defense. Miami has made mistakes, which has allowed the Broncos to capitalize, while every time Miami has put a little pressure on Western Michigan, they've come up with a big defensive play. 0-2 the count. Here to Navarre, the 5-hole for the Broncos. Deep out to left field. Brian Zapp doesn't have to move too much to his left as he's underneath it, puts the squeeze on for the first out.
Designated hitter, Josh Swinehart.
Josh Swinehart steps up to the plate. 1 for 2. Swinehart singled back in the second inning. He flew out to center his last time. The designated hitter waits a 2-0 as Novak's going to need a breather. And Mike Schultz, the home plate umpire, more than happy to oblige. You see that between home plate umpires and catchers more often than not, as they're working together. Either one of them gets hit, foul tip, wild pitch. The other gives a breather, if they shall need it. Sometimes they say, all right, let's just get back in. Let's keep this game moving. 3-0's the count here to Swinehart. Called strike on the outside. 3-1's the count. All the way back to full. Oliver looking to retire Swinehart and gets him to chase on the fastball up and away. So from 3-0 to the K, puts 2 away here in the top half of the 6th inning. Fifth strikeout of the game for Connor Oliver, as he has now retired 10 of the last 11 batters he's faced. Fouled off Connor Oliver, or rather David Novak, as he has taken a beating back here in the top half of the 6th inning. And I'll tell you what, those foul tips feel a lot better in the middle of June, middle of May than they do here on a brisk day at the beginning of April. One's the count. They'll check the swing down the first base line. No, he did not go, so says the first base umpire, Mike Martin. And Allen awaits the 2-1. Called strike at the top of the zone. 80-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Allen didn't offer at. Allen has been fantastic in the field today. He's working a 1 for 2 at the plate. And he sets him down, freezes him on the fastball. And another strong inning for Connor Oliver, who seems to be gaining momentum as this game progresses. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still 4-0 here in Oxford. Cooper Weiss, David Novak, Rylan Zaborowski due up for the RedHawks here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. They're down 4 runs. They've got 4 at-bats left in this one. Winners of 2 consecutive ball games looking to continue on the winning streak. Cooper Weiss 0 for 2 at the plate. He leads this team in hitting and really has been one of the most consistent hitters for Miami this entire season. 321 coming into today. A hit in each of the last 6 games he's played, and a hit in each of the last 7 games he started. 1 hopper out to Doyle, and thank you very much as he just stabs. And that ball from Cooper Weiss throws it across the infield for the first out. And we'll see David Novak, 0 for 1, has struck out and has walked. He had to put the ball in play. And Novak is a big piece of the success that Miami is going to need carrying into the final month and a half of the season. As the first team All-Max selection a season ago, really struggled to begin things this year. Backdated here to about 10 days ago where he went 3 for 4 against Oakland and tied the game up with a home run as he doesn't fully come around on the swing and it hits him on the wrist. He'll be awarded first base. Second time this ball game, he has been awarded a free pass. And Novak is taking a beating. Now at the plate, behind the dish, just last inning. It's been a 6th inning to forget for David Novak. It's one of those days where you get back to your apartment, your dorm, wherever you're living, you take a shower, you take a good hard look at your body, and there's 6 bruises on your arms, legs, and you don't know where they come from as Zaborowski singles out to left field. And Miami once again has something cooking here, this time in the bottom half of the 6th inning, as Zach McDonald comes to the plate and 2-men aboard. McDonald 0 for 2, struck out looking his last time. So Brady Miller has had McDonald's number. Called strike on the inside. McDonald was backed off, but it does indeed find the zone. 89 on the inside corner. Miller comes set after getting the sign from Billick. Slider finds the zone, and McDonald finds himself in a well. Two on, 1 away for McDonald. Fouled back. Just trying to stay alive. McDonald tied with Cooper Weiss for 2nd on the team in RBIs with 17. He's left the yard 6 times this year. Fastball works away. McDonald, though, just 1 for 16 in his last 17 at-bats. Popped towards the first base line. One, 2 to McDonald, fouled, and he's putting together a tough at-bat. Miller keeps challenging him, and McDonald keeps spoiling every pitch that Miller has offered. Miller with another strikeout. So 2 away as Parker Lester steps up. Lester doubled his last time around, and boy, would he like to do that again. Just trying to chip and claw their way back into the ball game. Eight strikeouts on the day for Brady Miller, a season high for the right-hander. Here to Lester. Lester's aggressive base running was able to give him second base his last time around on the single out to right center field. Never slowed down, took second base, but then it did him in as he was picked off on the paths. 1-1 the count to the lefty. Is once again he's showing bunts with the shift. And Coach Hayden and Parker Lester can't agree with the call from Mike Schultz. Lester thought he pulled it back. Schultz said no, he did not. So 1-2 is the count. As you can just see that wind blowing our center field camera. 1-2. Lester pops up in the infield. Doyle moving to his left, and the wind is carrying it. Going to be a tough play. He fully extends himself, never getting caught off the ball, but has it for the third out. Tough play for Doyle in the infield with a 27-mile-per-hour wind, but they hang another 0. We head to the 7th inning, 4-0. To the top of the 7th we go here on Love and Honor Live on Chatterbox Sports. 8-9-1 due up for Western Michigan. Connor Oliver back out there for another inning of work. He has come out for the 7th inning multiple times this year. He has yet to finish the inning. The farthest he's gone this year is 6 1/3 innings pitched. Now it's been against Toledo, Bowling Green. Multiple times he's gone out there to try and finish this 7th inning, see if he can overcome that mountain. He has retired 11 of the last 12 batters he's faced, gotten stronger as the game has progressed after giving up six hits through the first 3 innings. And leading off against Oliver is a man who Oliver has had his number, Greg Budig, who is 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. One and one's the count. Bounced on the outside, and once again, Novak taking one off the hip. Schultz just giving him a courtesy at this point. He's earned it. Oliver peers down the sign of Novak. The 2-1 misses upstairs. Oliver walked a base runner back in the 5th inning. but has only been awarding Western Michigan 2 free passes, now make it 3 after the leadoff walk. So this has been the mountain that Connor Oliver, who has been sharp all season long, has really been sharp from the 4th inning on, has been unable to climb, getting through this 7th inning. It'll face off against Grady Mee, who might be laying a bunt down here as the game is progressing, and then trying to put a runner in scoring position to extend their lead. Miami does have a man up and working. It's number 24. It's looking like Lawson Blackmore. Novak goes out there and talks, gives a quick chat to Connor Oliver. And here we go, the 1-0 to Grady Mee. Showing bunt, pops it up towards the protective netting behind home plate here. It's a really nice crowd here to begin the day when the sun was shining, though as it's been hidden behind the clouds in recent innings, you've seen people have left the ball field here at McKee Field, and I don't blame them. Cold day here for April 1. Bunted out to Connor Oliver. He fields his position, throws it over to Parker Lester for the first out. So a nice sacrifice by Grady Mee, the freshman, doing his part. The dig will be at second in scoring position with 1 away. We'll be back in action tomorrow, the doubleheader. Miami's very own Patrick Geshin will be on the call for at least game 2. Jackson Kitchen, the leadoff hitter. Tries to lay one down, catch Miami sleeping, offers at it, comes up empty. To be determined who will be on the call for game 3. Might be myself, might be Patrick, might be someone else. So we'll see here momentarily. The 0-1 in there for a called strike. Oliver looking to set another Bronco down on K's, and it is chopped down the third base line, just trickled foul, as originally that was in fair territory, spun to the left because it was hit off the end of the bat of Jackson. Connor Oliver with 6 Ks. Here comes the 0-2. Though for Connor Oliver starts this year, this has actually been the least amount of batters he has put down on strikes, as he ties his previous low of 7 as he retires Jackson Kitchen. Not out of the woods yet. And it looks like that'll be it for Connor Oliver as he puts out 6 2/3 innings of strong work and retires 14 of the last 16 batters he faces. He gave up a run in the first, 3 in the third, but now we'll have a new arm to tell you about when we come back. Stay tuned. You're watching Love and Honor Live. Lawson Blackmore on the bump, the right-handed pitcher, native of Van Wert, Ohio. On the season, you see his stats, 5.06 ERA. He has struck out 9 batters and has walked 4. He has gone 5 1/3 innings pitched. He's got a whip of 1.69. Looking to just put down Will Morrison here to conclude this 7th inning. Connor Oliver went 6 2/3 innings, 7 hits given up, 4 runs given up. Waiting to see the individual stats to see what they have awarded to Connor Oliver. 3 of the 4 runs are earned, though he's on the hook for 1 more in the form of Greg Buddig out at second base. So Will Morrison, righty on righty matchup, and was the one batter that Connor Oliver was unable to retire today. He's 1 for 1, was hit by a pitch and was walked, and Blackmore gets out in front of the starting center fielder for the Broncos, 0-1. So a big at-bat here for Blackmore. Foul tipped as he rides in on Morrison's hands. He's in the driver's seat. Blackmore comes set, gets the sign from Novak. Here's the 0-2. Called strike 3. 3 pitches, 3 strikes for Lawson Blackmore out of the pen. And it's stretch time here at McKee Field. 4-0 still our score in Oxford, Ohio. Seven, 8, 9, 2 up for Miami here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 4-0 our score here on Love and Honor Live. McKee Field is the venue at Hayden Park on this windy April 1. Here. Miami coming into today with a record of 6-20, 3-6 inside the Mid-American Conference. Western Michigan 5-17, 2-4 in the MAC. Benji Brokmond, 1 for 2 on the day. Miami has 9 outs to give Western Michigan, and they've got 4 runs to scratch across. We'll see if there will start to be some movement, at least in the form of pinch hitters for Miami. There is an arm up and working in Western Michigan's bullpen. We'll let you know who that is once we see a number. 1-0's the count to Brokmond as he takes a slider on the outside, 1-1. Change up, freezes Brokmond. It's 1-2. And they retire Brokmond on strikes for the first out here in the bottom half of the 7th. Miami with 4 hits, 0 runs in this ball game. Have threatened the last 2 innings, but have been unable to get a run across. Christian Tejada, first pitch swinging. Jimmy Allen in the hole. Gloves it. Doyle had his first chance at it. It hopped right over the third baseman's glove. And that's a base knock for Tejada. Second time he's been aboard today. Walked his last time up. And we'll see Dylan Baker, who singled to center field his last time. The longest Brady Miller has gone out this year as Dylan Baker lays a bunt down. Tough play for Doyle. Makes a beautiful play on the run. Textbook play for Doyle. A really nice bunt by the 9-hole, Dylan Baker. But an even better play by Western Michigan's defense. And I got to tell you, they've been flawless today. Have yet to make a mistake. And we'll see if a new arm is going to come out here to face off against Brian Zapp, the top half of Miami's order. So a 5-3 put out. Coming into today, Miller has gone 7 innings one time. That was against Eastern Michigan 2 weeks ago. And similar to today, gave up 3 hits. He's given up 5. 0 runs. He's given up 0 thus far. And has struck out 7. Now he's put down 9 today. Looking for number 10 as he will square off against Brian Zapp. That might have been just a quick pep talk saying, hey, this is your last batter. Finish this inning. Zapp 0 for 3. First pitch swinging, coming up empty. It's 0-1. In the bullpen for Western Michigan is Hayden Berg, a junior right-hander. Zapp takes the fastball on the outside, evens the count up at 1s. Zapp awaits the 1-1.
Yes.
Thinks about swinging, probably should have, as he takes the changeup for a called strike, 1-2. So Tejada out at second. He singled, moved up to second on the bunt attempt from Dylan Baker. 1-2 to Zapp, and he goes down on the changeup for the third and final out of the inning. Strong 7th inning from Brady Miller. He has been flawless today. We head to the 8th, still 4-0. Top of the 8th. 4-0 is our score. Quick recap as we head to this 8th inning. Western Michigan got on the board first in the top half of the first inning with a run, then scored 3, put up a crooked number back in the 3rd inning. We have seen no action since that 3rd inning. It's 4-0 here in Oxford. Lawson Blackmore back on the bump. Threw 3 pitches in the top half of the 7th. Got a strikeout. Got Miami out of trouble. So closed the book on Connor Oliver. Went 6 2/3 innings. Gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. He's currently in line for the loss. He struck out 7. For Blackmore, this is his 4th appearance on the season. Coming into this year, Had appeared in 9 games over 2 seasons. Did not play last year. 0-1's the count here to Gavin Doyle, the 3-hole for Western Michigan. And a leadoff base runner for the Broncos.
Cade Sullivan.
So a leadoff base runner for Western Michigan. And we'll see Cade Sullivan step in. Pieced out to center field, giving chase is Zach McDonald looking up, and that ball is gone. Leadoff base runner, and then the home run from Cade Sullivan makes it 6-0 here in Oxford. So Western Michigan adds on to their lead. As the Broncos are looking to break this game even more wide open. "1-0 is popped foul. Dylan Navarre steps in, 0 for 3 on the day. Reached a board back in the 3rd inning on an error, but has flown out to left field and has grounded out twice. "1-2. Popped over the third base dugout. We're staying put right here. Blackmore looking to get the first out of the inning. We're looking to get back in the dugout. Do have some weather inbound, as it looks like we might get a little bit of rain here in the next 20 minutes. Breaking ball. Bends around the strike zone, doesn't come back. 2-2. Chop down the first base line. And working a nice at-bat, Navarre is. That home run from Sullivan just moments ago was his 7th of the season. 22 RBIs now for the Bronco, leads his team. 2-2 is the count. Can't get on top of the curveball. Count is full. Navarre working a nice at-bat. Nobody up and working for Miami here in this 6-0 ball game. Fouled straight back. Couple of pro scouts in attendance today. Talked to a Blue Jays scout before the game that was here to see Hudson Leach for Miami. Doesn't look like he's going to get to see him today. And gets the strikeout. Navarre chases on the fastball upstairs, and we'll see Josh Swinehart with one away. 1-0 is our count. Swinehart, 1 for 3 on the day. Singled, struck out, and has flown out to center field. Blackmore has fallen behind 2-0 to the designated hitter. And Swinehart hacking on the 2-0. Fouls it back. 2-1's the count. Called strike 2. So Western Michigan in the all-time series against Miami as Swinehart goes down on strikes. Chasing once again, Blackmore getting these Broncos to be overly eager at the plate. In the all-time series, the Broncos leading over the RedHawks 74-55. Miami lost the last 2 games against Western Michigan last year in a 4-game split. As Allen takes the 1-0 for a called strike. Jimmy Allen, he's 1 for 3 at the plate. Two and one's the count to Allen. Slider works away from the starting shortstop, but it misses the strike zone. And it's a 2-out walk for Jimmy Allen. So once again, Miami in trouble as a 2-out walk has put a runner on board, and Miami already in a 6-0 hole. As Greg Budig will look to put the ball in play for the first time today. Struck out twice, walked his last time. First pitch swinging. He's overly eager at the plate as well. Fouls it back. 0-1's the count. Blackmore comes set on the 0-1. Breaking ball comes back down to earth, just clipping the top of the zone. 0-2's the count. 0-2. Blackmore gets just the nick of Budig's bat as he fouls it back. Blackmore coming into today with 9 strikeouts and 5 1/3 innings pitched. Runner up and moving as Budig pops one foul and will do it again. As it hits off the grandstand here in Oxford. You can hear that wind just howling here. Ugly day here in April. After what was a fairly calm March, we're seeing the spring showers and the wind that come along with them constantly in effect as Budig pops one out to left field. Brian zaps underneath it. And we'll have it for the 3rd out. 2 runs come across here in the top half of the 7th inning. A leadoff base hit. Then the home run from Cade Sullivan makes it 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 8th on Love and Honor Live. Haydenberg on the bump for the Western Michigan Broncos here. In the bottom of the 8th inning, he'll face Cooper Weiss, David Novak, and Rylan Zaborowski as Weiss's first pitch swing. And you see the stats on Haydenberg. No need going through them. This will be Berg's 8th appearance on the season, as he might be looking to go 6 outs to close this game away. Weiss on the 0-1 shows bunt, pulls it back. Good bit of news as the rain looks like it might hold off for another hour. As that is a nasty slider that finds the strike zone. Berg working away. Got this 3/4 arm slot, which typically is indicative of 2 things: sharp slider and a little bit of run on the fastball, which can give fits for a right-handed hitter. And you saw that run right there. Yeah, these almost 3/4 slot side-arming right-handers have a lot of success against right-handed batters, as Cooper Weiss pops one out into medium-depth right field, and Navarre takes a unique route, took the scenic route to go and get the first out, but he has it regardless. Really just played the ball well, as the wind is blowing directly to right field, so just staying behind the pop-up from Cooper Weiss, and comes in to make the first out. It's lefties that these side armors and 3/4 slot pitchers really struggle against, as the slider comes into the left-handed batter and the fastball runs with the barrel. But against right-handers like Rylan Zaborowski and David Novak, who are at the plate and on deck, that's where you have the success. 0-2 is the count from Berg. Misses upstairs. So you can close the book on Brady Miller. He went 7 strong. Gave up 5 hits. Shutout baseball. He's currently in line for the win. 1-2 to Novak. Fouls it back. He's 0 for 1. Novak has yet to put the ball in play. As a check swing, we'll say Novak did indeed go. And a great job by Budig, never giving up on the play, recognizing that it might be a strikeout on David Novak. Novak thinks that he didn't come around, but Mike Martin, the first base umpire, said yes, he did. And the flip from Budig over to Sullivan on the putout will be the second out. So Zaborowski steps up. He singled his last time and has hit a ball on the screws 2 of his 3 trips at the plate. Single to left center field. Liner out to the left fielder, Kitchen, who has backed up against the warning track. To be honest, with the way that the wind is blowing, I'm surprised that the left fielders haven't moved more into the gap. As Zaborowski takes the 0-2. As we are getting near Wizard of Oz weather. 1-2. Check swing, chopped out to the Doyle, the third baseman. The throw over to first, 5-3 putout. And Haydenberg quickly retires the middle of Miami's order here in the 8th inning. We head to the 9th. The RedHawks are going to have to do it all in the final frame. It's 6-0. 9-1-2, due up for Western Michigan. Lawson Blackmore back out there to get 3 outs here in the top half of the 9th inning. 6-0 our score as a parade of leaves come flowing in. Beer labels, some are leaves, some are beer labels, as I don't even know if you can see them on your screen. But we got me, Kitchen, Morrison due up for the Broncos. Western Michigan looking to get a little bit of insurance and then close out game 1 of this series, shut down the RedHawks. And the RedHawks 2-game winning streak and end the Broncos 5-game losing streak. As the fastball rides up and in to me, who with a right-hander on the mound will flip over to the left-handed batter's box. Always nice to have a switch-handed hitter at the bottom of your order. As the 1-0 hack comes up empty, it's 1-1. Slider bounces in front of home plate. 2-1's the count to me. First pitch tomorrow scheduled for noon, which means that game 3 and the second game tomorrow in the doubleheader will be slated for about 30 minutes after the conclusion of the first game. You can watch that right here once again on Chatterbox Sports, Love and Honor Live. As me slaps one out to right center field. It's in the gap. It'll be extra bases for the second baseman. And the freshman coming up here in the top half of the 9th inning with a double. So in Lawson Blackmore's relief work, he's given up 2 extra base hits, 3 hits in total, a single, a home run, and now a double. He has struck out 3, he has walked 1, and he has gotten a pop-up. And back to the top of the order, Jackson Kitchen. Kitchen, 1 for 4. Lays the bunt down, pushes it towards the third base line. Trailing foul, Rylan Zaborowski kills it. 1-1's the count. 10 hits in the ball game for Western Michigan as the bats had come out. They got some insurance runs there in the 8th inning after kind of coasting. And Connor Oliver was really sharp from innings 4 through 7. He has been consistent for this pitching staff really all season long. As Jackson Kitchen pops one out into left field and running with the wind, Brian Zapp comes in scrambling, catching it for the first out. He looked like he was camped underneath it, but in the final seconds really took off and ran about 15 feet to get that first out, and we'll see Will Morrison. Will Morrison, 1 for 2, has scored twice. Had a double back in the 3rd inning, that bloop double down the left field line. Has also been hit by a pitch and walked as Blackmore gets ahead of the starting center fielder, Morrison. Due up in the bottom half of the order for Miami as they're going to look to plate 7 runs and take the win will be Zach McDonald, Parker Lester, Benji Brokemont. And with a right-handed reliever on the mound for Western Michigan, we'll see if the couple of left-handed bats that Coach Hayden has at his disposal will come to the plate. And Blackmore freezes Will Morrison for a strikeout looking. Second time that Will Morrison has been put down on strikes today. And we'll see Gavin Doyle Doyle got the 8th inning started with a single to center field. He was brought home on the Cade Sullivan home run. Just missing out of the zone. 86 on the gun for Blackmore. Breaking ball. Breaks too much as the 72-mile-an-hour curveball misses at the bottom of the zone. It's 2-0. Blackmore comes set. Misses outside once again. It's 3-0. And I know if you've been watching this for now 8 2/3 of an inning, the center field camera has been shaken, and that's just what it is with the wind that we've had today. Saw the tornadoes touch down throughout the United States last night. And the storms that rolled through southwestern Ohio in the wee hours of the morning. The wind persisting. Should be a better day tomorrow. Sun should be shining as Blackmore runs the count to full. Should be a little warmer, less windy. Beautiful day for baseball. As you'll see the conclusion of this series, games 2 and 3 on the doubleheader. The payoff pitch to Doyle. Misses upstairs, put runners on first and second for Cade Sullivan. Left-handed arm is up and moving in the bullpen for Miami. But they're going to let Blackmore face at least one more batter in the form of Cade Sullivan. And Blackmore owes Sullivan one, as Sullivan went out to deep right center field his last time. Just got a report of who was in the bullpen for Miami. Looks like it's the left-handed pitcher Ross. Called strike as Blackmore is ahead of Sullivan 0-2. Sullivan working on a 3-for-4, has been a tough out at the plate and looking to give his team an even bigger lead. The 0-2. And he sits him down, challenges him with the fastball. Sullivan comes up empty. 6-0. We head to the bottom of the ninth. And Miami looking to avoid the shutout and come back and win. To the bottom of the ninth we go. You see Miami's lineup in front of you. Zach McDonald, Parker, Lester, Benji, Brokmond due up for Miami here in the bottom half of the ninth inning. They're going to need to get the sticks out and rally together. A lot of hits to get back into this one. And we will see actually a pinch hitter for Zach McDonald. So Nate Stone will be hitting for the struggling McDonald. McDonald 0-for-3, struck out his last 2 at-bats. Mentioned 1 for his last 18 trips to the plate. So we'll see Nate Stone, left-handed swinger. Stone hit a home run not too long ago. Hit a ball country mile against Oakland this week. So looking to capitalize on that. Stone awaits the 1-1 from Berg, who's back out for another inning of work. Stone in 32 at-bats this season, 5 hits, 2 extra base hits. Has walked 7 times. So though his batting average is 156, he can almost double that to get to his on-base percentage of 300 on the dot.
Oh, hi, Ben. Papa misses you. Oh, Ben.
2-2.
Ben. Hey, buddy.
Called strike 3.
Hi, Ben.
Berg finds the outside part of the zone, says Mike Schultz. Our trackman has a different opinion of where that ball landed. And 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Parker Lester, another left-handed bat, steps in. 1-0 the count to Lester. Ball squirts away from Billick. Coverage of tomorrow's game will start around 11:55. Mentioned Patrick Geshin. If you are a Miami frequent listener, you've heard his voice on these games before as Lester singles out to left field, his 2nd hit of the ball game. I love Parker Lester's approach at the plate. Benji Brokman steps in, 1 for 3. He has struck out twice. He singled back in the 2nd inning. Patrick Geshin, who will be on some Dayton Dragons games this year. He's worked with Chatterbox Sports for 4 years now. Brokman fouls it over the first base dugout. Lester takes a modest lead over there at first, and it hits off the shin of Benji Brokman and put runners on first and second for where would be Christian Tejada at the plate. Looks like we're going to see another hitter. And Brokman limping his way down to first base as that got a good piece of him. Tejada's still going to hit. Thought we might have seen a pinch hitter for Tejada. But just looking at the roster, not too many more left-handed swingers. So with a 6-0 ball game here in the 9th inning, and they're not going to stress Benji Brokman, who's limping his way off the field, and there will be a pinch runner for him.
A pinch runner for the RedHawks
Will be Billy Kopicki.
Injured Brokman, and standing at first base now, number 2, Billy Kopicki.
So Billy Kopicki will be hitting, or running rather, for Brokman, and Christian Tejada steps up. Tejada, 1 for 2. Walk singled his last time. Takes the slider from Berg for a called strike. Berg comes set, kicks, deals, and Tejada comes up empty on that 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Fouled straight back. Tejada refusing to go down. Very tough to put away on strikes. Missing on the outside. A few inches off the plate. Billick, who was lined up on the outside. And Christian Tejada has a 1-2 count against Berg. Going back to the slider on the 1-2. It misses low and away. 2-2 now the count. Two on, one away in this 6-0 ball game. And Tejada goes down as he chases the fastball. And Dylan Baker. Last line of defense against Western Michigan. Tying run still well in the dugout. As there's 2 away and 2 on for Baker. Baker 1 for 3. First pitch swinging out in front of the 78-mile-an-hour slider. Fouls it over the grandstand. Berg comes set. Fastball misses on the outside. Berg sets up on the edge of the rubber as half of his right foot is on the rubber. So working out the left side of that mound in his perspective. One, two, the count. He comes set. Fastball flies up. The 2-2. Popped into left field. Giving chase is Kitchen. Underneath it, calling off the center fielder, Morrison, and he'll have it for the 3rd out. Western Michigan completes the shutout. Hayden Berg closes the 8th and 9th inning as Brady Miller gets the win. 6-0 the final here as the Broncos take game 1. Games 2 and 3 will be tomorrow. You can watch that right here on Love and Honor Live on Chatterbox Sports. As I mentioned, Patrick Eshin will be on the call for Game 2. And stay tuned to who will be on that call for Game 3. But Miami's going to need a sweep tomorrow to win the series. But that does it from us out here in Oxford. Brady Miller with the win. Connor Oliver with the loss. 6-0 the final here at McKee Field at Hayden Park. And for the producer, Justin Thomas, I'm Reed Mouse, signing off. See you tomorrow.